Good morning. As it was the feast of the Assumption of Mary yesterday, perhaps we'll talk a little bit about Mariology. Now, it's common for Catholics defending their faith to say that we don't worship Mary. I'm slightly uncomfortable with that particular statement, although obviously the people making it mean very well. It's because although people generally use the word worship today to mean worship of a god, traditionally the word is much broader than that. And even today there are some contexts in which worship might be used outside of a religious context. For instance, the Freemasons have leaders who they call a worshipful master. Obviously, the Freemasons aren't saying that their worshipful master is a god. They're saying that he's worthy of respect and honor. Likewise, in a Star Wars film, you'll notice that Han Solo nicknames Princess Leia Your Worship, or Your Worshipfulness. He's not saying that she thinks she's a goddess. He's referring to her as a person, a dignitary, worthy of honor and respect. And in the Bible, King Herod says that he wants to worship the infant Jesus. Obviously, we know that King Herod was being insincere and he didn't really want to do that at all. However, the people listening to him wouldn't have assumed that he was saying he thought that Jesus was God, but rather that he was going to pay him the homage and honor due to a newborn king. So it's not beyond the bounds of normal speech to speak of worship in a sense of not necessarily worshipping a god. Also, I think it's perhaps difficult within that narrow context of the word worship to distinguish the honor and reverence that we pay to Mary from what we would more generally call worship, meaning like worship of a god. So I think it's very helpful that the Catholic Church makes the distinction between the dulia that we give to the saints and Mary, honor and reverence, and the latria or adoration which we give only to God. Perhaps it might be difficult to explain those distinctions, but I think that distinction is perhaps more helpful than simply saying we don't worship Mary. Anyway, that's some theology for today. Have a fantastic Saturday.